So hello everyone and welcome back to Charlie Talks Football. So I'm here with my granddad and my dad, and we're going to be doing Premier League predictions for game week 19. So let's get into the video. So the first game is Brentford versus Liverpool. Now Liverpool are 6th in the Premier League and Brentford are 10th. In their last game, Brentford beat West Ham 2-0 and Liverpool beat Leicester 2-1. Wout Faes conceded 2 own goals, so that was a bit of a disaster by Leicester. So in this game, I think the score's going to be 2-1 to Liverpool. I think Liverpool will just edge it. I wouldn't be surprised if Brentford can get something out of the game, but I think it'll be a 2-1 win for Liverpool. So, Dad?
Yeah, I think Liverpool will win 3-1. Brentford's a good team, but I think Liverpool's got so much pace and they're really exciting going forward. So I think they'll win 3-1 to Liverpool. That's my prediction.
So, Grandad, what do you think the score's going to be?
I agree with you, Charlie. I think it'll be 2-1 to Liverpool. Liverpool's midfield's not very strong at the minute. I mean, the game against on Friday night when they played, who was it they played?
Leicester.
Leicester,
yeah.
They were like poor Henderson, Thiago and Oxlade-Chamberlain, and I thought they were really poor in midfield. But I think they've got a good attackers, Nunes, and he's very powerful when he's on, you know, and so I think they'll be like winning the game against Brentford.
Right, so on to the next game. Now, the next game is Everton versus Brighton. Now, Brighton, they lost to Arsenal, but they were playing really good football. And Everton, they just aren't really, they're not really doing great at the minute. So for this game, I think it's going to be quite a close one, but I think Brighton will win 1-0. I think Brighton are the better team. They look well organised. I mean, they did concede 4 goals against Arsenal, but you've got to remember that Arsenal are top of the league and they really do look good. So I'm going to go 1-0 Brighton.
I think it'll be 1 each. I agree that Brighton's a good team, Charlie. I think they're really good. Is it Roberto De Zerbi? I'm not sure how you pronounce the manager's name.
From Shakhtar Donetsk.
Yeah,
he's doing a good job, I think.
He's a good coach, and I think, Trossard's a really good player. Newcastle have been linked with him, so I think it'll be a tight game and it'll be 1 each.
So, Grandma?
I think Brighton will win 3-1.
3-1.
Everton are like poor. I know they had put up a good performance against Manchester City.
Yeah.
But they had like played 5 at the back and they were very defensive.
Yeah.
But they got a good point. So at home they'll be expected to come out and attack more. And I think Brighton will open them up and it'll be 3-1 to Brighton.
So the next game is Leicester at home against Fulham. Now Leicester got beat 2-1 off Liverpool and Fulham beat Southampton 2-1. So these are, Leicester aren't doing very good at the minute. You know, Wout Faes conceded them 2 own goals. They are missing Maddison. I don't know if he will play this game. Daka's also picked up an injury, so Vardy will be playing, so maybe that will affect them. But for this game, I honestly do believe that Fulham will win. You know, they looked really good against Southampton. Paulinho, they've got from Sporting Lisbon, he looks really, really good. So I think Fulham will win, but I think Leicester will get a goal. I'm going to say Leicester 1, Fulham 2.
I'm going to say a draw again, same as the Everton-Brighton game, 1 each, because I think Leicester's a decent team. They've got a few players missing. I think Newcastle just scored 2 quick goals against them and then they struggled to get back into the game. So I do think they pass the ball well, and they've got Harvey Barnes, who's really fast and direct. Fulham are doing really well. It's Silver, isn't it, their manager? He's done a really good job.
He's doing a really good job.
So I think 1 each.
Yes, done.
1 each for that one.
Yeah, I'll take Leicester to win 2-1.
2-1.
Because I think they were a bit, you know, started off slowly against Newcastle. So I think they'll be looking to make a better start against Fulham. And I just think that they played fairly well against Liverpool and like to give them a bit of confidence. So I'm expecting Leicester to win 2-1.
Right, so on to the next game. Arsenal, who are top of the league, against our team Newcastle, who are third in the Premier League. Now this, possibly the game of the week, you could say. Two of the best teams in the league, two of the best informed teams in the league. Arsenal, they're playing brilliant attacking football. They just beat Brighton 4-2. Now Newcastle drew against Leeds, which was quite a disappointing result. I think we were wasteful with our chances. I also think that Leeds came with a game plan, you know. I think Jesse Marsh has said to them at half-time, you know, just go and play for a point. So, for me, I think it's going to be a draw. I think it's going to be 1-1. I was shifting towards saying Arsenal would win, but because I'm a Newcastle fan, I can't do that. So I'm actually think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. So, yeah.
I'm going to say a shot result here. So I'm going to say that Newcastle are going to win 3-0. Obviously, Arsenal's a fantastic team. And you would expect Arsenal to win or maybe a draw. But I've just got a feeling that Newcastle will hit them on the break. And I think Miggy and Bruno, you know, will do really well. So that's a bit of a shock score from me. 3-0 to Newcastle. I hope it comes true.
I think Newcastle will win as well. I think 2-1. I think Arsenal are a good home team, but I think Newcastle are a good counter-attacking team. So I think that they'll, you know, create Arsenal a lot of problems. And the way Newcastle's defence is playing, they haven't conceded many goals. I think we've got the best
defensive record in the Premier League.
Yeah, we have, yes, yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see Arteta jumping up and down on the line, pulling his hair out and flashing yellow cards and so on and so forth, because he gets himself excited. So I think Arsenal are going to be in for a tough night.
Yeah, so anyway, on to the next game. Manchester United, who are at home, face Bournemouth. Now, Man United played Wolves in their last game. They beat them 1-0. Marcus Rashford's been on fire recently. He's played really well. It seems like Ten Hag's got a really good way of playing. Man United seem to be, you know, looking really, really good. Now, Bournemouth, on the other hand, they haven't really been doing well, have they?
No, I think they're a well-organised team, and I think they'll put people behind the ball. And but, you know, I would expect Man U to win that one.
Yeah, so for this game, I just think Man United will batter them. I'm going Man United 3, Bournemouth 0. I think Rashford will probably get a goal with the form he has been on. So.
Yeah, I think it'll be 2-0 Man United. Bournemouth, of Gary O'Neill's got them really well organised defensively, but Man United will have too much for them, and I think they'll win 2-0.
Yeah, on the same, I think Manchester United will win 3-0. Bournemouth work really hard, but they're not getting any results at the moment. I mean, they did really well against Newcastle in the League Cup, but since then, I was a bit shocked that Crystal Palace won 2-0 against them at the weekend.
Well, I think Palace are a decent team, you know, they've got good attacking players.
They've had some bad results recently. And so I watched the game, and it was 2 set pieces, both from corners, that they scored the goals. Bournemouth have got the worst record for defending off corners in the Premier League. So it's something that you know that they'll probably need to work on.
Yeah, so on to the next game now. Southampton take on Nottingham Forest. Now, Southampton got beat off Fulham 2-1. They were a bit unlucky, really, but they're doing terrible.
Yeah,
I mean,
not doing well.
Bottom of the league, not what people really expected, you know.
They've got is it Nathan Jones manager?
I think he is the manager, and I just think it's all went wrong, really. You know, Southampton, they're a funny old team, you know. Sometimes they'll have a really good season, and the next they'll just have a bad season. So their manager really needs to find that inconsistency, because they can't get relegated. And, you know, Nottingham Forest, on the other hand, they've spent a lot of money, too much money. I think it's sort of ruined the squad a bit, and their manager, Steve Cooper, actually said in one of his press conferences that they're looking to bring in more players in January. So I was quite surprised when I heard that, because come on, you've got enough players, you know. I don't think they need to invest more. So I'm not sure about this game, but I think it's going to be a tight one, and I'm going to go 1-0 to Nottingham Forest. I think they will win.
I think they'll get a draw. I think it'll be
draw.
ones each, yeah. I think it'll be a tight game, and
Tight
Southampton
game.
will scrape a draw, yeah.
I think it will be a draw, probably about ones each, because they're both struggling to score goals. But Nottingham Forest played quite well against Chelsea, because I watched the match and it was an entertaining game. And they created a lot of chances, Forest, but there again, the highlights from the Southampton-Fulham game.
Yeah.
Like you say, Southampton were a little bit unlucky, but it's goals that wins games. And then Mitrovic missed a penalty at the end, at the 89th minute.
Yeah.
The goalkeeper saved it. So I think it'll be a tight game. I think
Tight
it'll be
game.
a draw, 1-1.
Draw. It's very interesting to see. So that'll be quite a crucial game, because it's two teams in the relegation zone. So both teams won't want to lose that game. So anyway, on to the next game. Now it is Leeds versus West Ham. Now it's at Leeds. Leeds drew 0-0 to Newcastle. I thought they looked really well organised. They were playing with lots of energy. Gonto, he caused Newcastle. I thought he caused Newcastle quite a lot of problems. Their goalkeeper's doing well as well. So they're a good team, Leeds, and they face a West Ham side who it wasn't good for them, you know, just getting beat 2-0. So it wasn't good for them. Now West Ham have invested quite a lot of money, and they've got a decent team, you know. Lucas Paqueta from Lyon, someone who was linked with Newcastle heavily, but that never happened. Samaka, he's a good player. Ben Rama, Jared Bowen. So they've got lots of good players, West Ham. But I actually think this is going to go Leeds' way. I think Leeds will win 2-1. I just think Leeds are playing better at the minute. I do like David Moyes, but maybe it's time to go. I think Leeds, the home crowd will help them win this one, the energy that they're playing with. They will also be happy after getting a point at St James's Park, because not many teams go to St James's Park and get a result there. So, yeah.
I think this one's a difficult one to call. I'll say 2s each, because I think Leeds play with lots of energy. They play with a high press, but they are susceptible to letting goals. And I was really surprised the game finished 0-0 with Newcastle. But so I'll say 2s each.
I'll say West Ham 2, Leeds 1. Because even though they got beat off Brentford, West Ham, that had 70% possession, they had like 20 shots at goal and about 7 on target, I think it was, and they had far more of the ball than what Brentford did. So you know, sometimes I know goals wins games. It's a true saying, but I think the due result, and I think David Moyes has done a good job, and I think he's you know, he got them into Europe, and they're still in Europe, and they're like they just need a win. Remember when Rafa was at Newcastle and Newcastle was struggling? Yeah. He says it's important to try and get a win because it breeds confidence. And he was right, once they got that win, they started picking up.
But I sort of think, though, surely with the money they've spent and the players they've brought in, you obviously would be expecting him to do a better job. Maybe it's bad luck, maybe it's injuries. I know they brought in Cornet from Burnley. I know he's injured. I know they've got quite a few injuries at the minute. So I think they will need a result to turn this around. So the next game is Aston Villa versus Wolves. Now, Aston Villa, in a shock result, beat Tottenham 2-0. Unai Emery seems to be doing a good job there. I think he's got the players together, doing a much better job than Steven Gerrard has done. And they're facing a Wolves side who are still in the relegation zone. They've got in a new manager. They've got some good players, the likes of, well, they've got Diego Costa in from, who used to play for Chelsea. They've got Matheus Nunes, who plays for Sporting Lisbon. I really like him. So this is actually quite a hard one to call. But I think Aston Villa just look a lot better at the minute, and I think they will beat Wolves. I'm going to go Aston Villa 2, Wolves 0.
Again, I think this is probably going to be a draw. I'd say 1s each. I think Wolves.
I just think that Villa,
yeah.
they'll be high on confidence. You know,
yeah, I agree with you, but I think
they've just beaten Tottenham 2-0. I think
agree. And
they're at home. I just don't think it'll be a draw.
Is doing a great job.
Disagree with what Dan.
Unai Emery is doing a good job, and you know they probably will be favourites to win. But I think Wolves have some very good technical players, and I think they will get a draw.
A draw.
Yeah.
Aston Villa 3, Wolves 0, because Wolves are really struggling to score goals. And regarding Diego Costa, Charlie, he's past it. He's finished. I think they've just brought him in as a stopgap to get somebody else, because they're really struggling to find a striker like most clubs are. It's like Chris Wood at Newcastle.
Yeah,
I was pleased when they signed him, but he just hasn't produced
too
much.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, if you don't play to his strengths, then he won't like.
I think the only time he's ever like that goal that he scored last season at Southampton was perfect cross, and he rose in the air and like headed it in the back of the net, and it was a really good goal. But he just doesn't seem to be on the same page, the same wavelength. I mean, another thing at Newcastle is I disagree with. Eddie Howe keeps taking Willock off all the time. I think Willock can score a goal. Remember when they had him on loan from Arsenal? He went on that run where he scored like 7 goals on 7 games.
Yeah,
and
he's not quite had that impact.
He's a good player. He's got a lot of pace, and he can go past people. People don't know that he's got this pace, but when when he approaches somebody and knocks the ball past them, he did it a couple of times at the weekend. And I think he should be kept on more, because you've got a better chance of getting a goal from them. What you see ahead of Longstaff. I mean, Longstaff's a good worker, and he's up and down more than what probably Willock is, but his finishing leads a lot to be desired.
Right, so guys, we're going on to the next game now. It's going to be Crystal Palace versus Tottenham. Now, Tottenham got beat off Aston Villa. They look terrible. The centre-backs are slow. They just don't look good. I mean, they can be a decent team on the day, but they just didn't look very good. I mean, Crystal Palace is a funny one. I think they're a bit inconsistent with the results they're getting. You know, I think they are a good team, obviously just being Bournemouth. So for me, I can actually think Crystal Palace will beat Tottenham. For me, Tottenham just don't look good at all, and I know most people will go for a Tottenham win, but I just think that Crystal Palace will win this game. So I'm going to say Crystal Palace 2, Tottenham 1. So a bit of a out there scoreline, but I think it could actually happen.
I think Palace are a decent team. They've got a lot of pace. They've got Zaha, they've got Ayew, Eze, good players. They work hard, but I do think Tottenham will win this game. I think they'll win it 2-1. I think it'll be a close game, but Tottenham will win 2-1.
A draw, 2s each.
A draw, 2s each.
I think Crystal Palace has got two young lads that have got that. They've been linked with Newcastle before, Eze and Alessi.
Yeah.
And I would love to see them. I'm not bothered about Zaha. I would see he's not. I wouldn't want him, but I would like them 2 young lads in midfield at Newcastle because they really are good. When I've noticed them on the TV when they run at people and they can wrong foot people, and they're like good finishers and they create a lot of chances. That's what you want, dynamic players like that. So I'll stick with a draw, 2s each. Right,
so on to the last game then, Chelsea versus Man City. Some people would say this is the game of the week, but I disagree. I think it's Arsenal versus Newcastle. Now, Chelsea drew with Nottingham Forest, and I just think Potter needs more time. I think that, you know, they've already brought in a lot of players already, and Kunku's coming in the summer. They've brought in Datro, Fofana, Badiashile, so they're spending a lot of money, but I don't understand why they're spending money on the defence. You know, they need goals. Havertz isn't really the striker. Aubameyang just hasn't really been doing very well. They need to stop spending all the money on the defence and go out there and buy a striker, someone like a João Felix, get him in on loan or a permanent deal. I know they're really close to signing Enzo Fernandez, but they're spending money in the wrong areas, in my opinion. And I think Potter does need time. I think he will eventually do a good job. But I just want to ask you this question here. Do you think that Potter made the right decision to go to Chelsea?
Yeah, I think so. It's a bigger club, isn't it? And it's a next step, next progression in his career. I think he's a really good manager. He does need some time. For this game, personally, I think Man City will win. I think they'll have too much for Chelsea. I think it'll be 2-0 to Man City. I mean, Haaland is on fire. He's just phenomenal. The best forward in the world at the moment, in my eyes.
I disagree.
For finishing, I think
Mbappe is. I think he's proved it at the World Cup.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I suppose Mbappe, but I mean, in the Premiership, I think he's the best forward.
Yeah. So for my score, I think this will be a Man City win, but I'm gonna go lots of goals. A 3-2 Man City win. I think Haaland will score as well, but I think Potter just needs more time, because you've seen what Chelsea have been like in the past with managers, you know, just sacking them all the time. Just give, my message to Chelsea owners is give Potter time. You know, look at Arsenal. Arteta wasn't doing very well. They've gave him time, gave him money to spend, and, you know, they're top of the league now. So it shows that time really does, like, count. So I just want to ask you a question now. So do you think Potter made the right decision to go to Chelsea?
Yes. Well, like your dad says, it's natural progression. Chelsea's a far bigger club than what Brighton is. It brings different pressures to like what Brighton, because, you know, they're spending mega bucks, and it's just, you know, ridiculous the amount of money they're spending. When you hear, as soon as Newcastle get linked with a player, all that comes out in the press is they can't sign him because of the fair play. What about Chelsea's fair play?
A good point.
They must be way over the top with their spending, because everybody that comes along they're in for, and they're going to pay 100 million for that Fernandez.
120 million release clause. I mean,
ridiculous.
I'll tell you one thing. Never just buy a player off the World Cup, in my opinion. He's only just joined Benfica, and he's already gonna go to Chelsea. So I think they just need. I think they're spending money in the wrong areas. I think they're spending too much money. So yeah, like I said, I think Man City will win this. You know, they desperately need to win it to catch up Arsenal, who are doing so well.
Yeah, I think Man City will win. I'll see it 2-0. But I think Potter will be given time, because I think he's got the backing of the board, and they realise that it's a total rebuild. And that's what they're going to have to do. But something that impressed us against Arsenal, there was a few kids come on, like younger players for Brighton, and I thought they did really well. You know, people who we had never heard of, and they did really well. So I think Brighton, he's obviously done such a good job at Brighton when he was there, with getting these young players in, and then foreign players that nobody knew about. But there again, that might have been down to Dan Ashworth, so it might be the Newcastle's, you know, they might get better players in now that they've got Dan Ashworth.
So anyway, guys, that is our Premier League predictions for Game Week 19. We will be doing one for Game Week 20, maybe getting different guests on. If you enjoyed me Grandad in the video, comment down below. It certainly makes the video better, because he has a different opinion to us. But yeah, guys, we're currently trying to get 300 subscribers at the minute, so let's try and hit that before the end of January. Make sure to like the video and turn on the notification bell so you know all the times I'm posting. I'm going to be trying to post daily with all the transfer news that's coming out regarding Newcastle, and it will be interesting to see who we will sign in January, so I'm looking forward to make them videos anyway. So yeah, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Hope you enjoy. Bye.
Bye.